Game Radio, it's your boy Tony G, Big Lou, every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. The Sports Book, like I always say, you can reach us at our Facebook page, KM Radio, or the Sports Book. If you have anything you want to get off your chest, or if you want to do some advertising with the show or the radio station on a national level, they got it. Any kind of advertisement, TV, radio, that you think you want to do, they can handle it for you. All right, so a lot to talk about. Heck of a weekend in basketball. This Thursday, Trae Young will be starting comeback Thursday night with Washington. So that would be very interesting. I made a little list of some of the best teams covering the spread right now, and this obviously it changes week to week. Or Miami, Philadelphia, San Antonio, and Charlotte. Charlotte. Again, this is with the spread. This ain't about winning or losing. We're talking about the spread that's given. Right. These are some of the best actors. Someone may go, well, Charlotte ain't, well, they're not, but they get a lot of points.
Right. They score a lot of points. Just go and look at the stats. I mean, the stats will help you with your gambling success. Trust me, I am not only do I own the company, I use the product as well.
There you go. You can check all that. You can check all that out. I mean, they do get a lot of points. I think the other night, Washington got 14 points, and that's always a lot because most of the time when the big boys come in, if you ever watch San Antonio, you watch San Antonio, and you watch Detroit, and you watch the Thunder, you're going to see them. They may get up 20, but then usually at 8 minutes left in the fourth, they're pulling everybody out. Or sometimes they don't even score. They don't even come out for the fourth. You know what I mean? And that just when it comes to player props, that's one of the biggest things. You want the games to stay close so everybody stays in.
Right.
Because otherwise they'll pull them, and then you won't get your props and the points. And you got to be quick with like I always say about the live bet, the over under. You got to be quick with it because you're a little bit off, and you're gonna lose on the hook. Watching in the Eastern Conference. Mm-hmm. So now, Detroit's got the best record in the NBA, 1 over.
Yeah, they're playing some great basketball too.
They are 1 over Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio is right there in all. They're only 3 games outside of Oklahoma, 2 outside of the Pistons. So they're all that. Those 3 there are very, very tight. That's a very tight knit. And then you can't forget about the Celtics and the Knicks and Cleveland. Cleveland's playing really good.
Yeah.
The trade seems to help them. I mean, it's the playoffs.
Yeah. The playoff is where we need to see James Harden. We know he can do this during the regular season. This is textbook right here. What we need to see is that James Harden, but the dial about a click and a half, 2 clicks up in the playoffs, because he's deadly, you know.
Oh gosh,
he's deadly off the dribble, you know. He has all of the attributes to be mentioned, but even though he's still mentioned, but I just feel like James Harden has the attributes to be a champion. I feel like he should be a champion already.
How many teams he's been with?
About playoff basketball. I'm not sure what it is, but
it's a lot though. I mean, started with Houston, was in Cleveland, was in Brooklyn. I bet it's off the top of my head. I know it's got to be 5 or 6 because he was in Philadelphia too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was in Philadelphia with Maxey and Embiid.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely traveled around, and you would think a guy, and it's kind of weird, a guy of that level, Hall of Famer, just not really making any kind of stand in the playoffs whatsoever.
Yeah, we need some post. Yeah, we need some postseason action from James Harden.
Yeah, we really do. And you know what's funny is the lower if you go past the top six teams in the bottom, the right up to sixth in the East is Philadelphia 76ers. Underneath that is Orlando Magic, Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks, and Charlotte Hornets. They're all about 500. One game up, one game down, which
Mm-hmm.
makes it very interesting. And there's definitely three sectors of teams in the East, A, B, and C. But you know what's
Mm-hmm.
funny is because they play each other, you got to watch the C's in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Especially for
Right,
a
right.
game. And then going over in the Western Conference, got Oklahoma obviously number one, San Antonio right
Mm-hmm.
behind them, 3 games out.
Yeah,
And then
right on the
Houston,
heels.
yeah, right on their heels. Houston Rockets right under them, Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
right under them, the Nuggets, and then the Lakers are right there in the sixth speed in the sixth
Yeah.
place. Um, Trying to see move that around a little. And then you got Phoenix, Golden State Warriors, the Clippers, and Portland on the.
In Portland. Yeah,
Yeah,
bringing up the rear.
I really thought we were going to see a little bit more out of the Mavericks. You know what I mean? They got the hottest rookie, um,
Yeah,
AD. You know, oh well, that didn't last very long.
yeah,
I wonder what they're going to do to surround that guy because he's a stud. I mean, he's definitely a
yeah. Cooper is a stud. The biggest question mark for me is um what type of Kyrie are we gonna get when he comes back? Because when Kyrie comes back, then Cooper can move and play. He would most likely be playing the shooting guard. I imagine where I think he's more comfortable.
right,
Although he can handle the ball and he can set up the offense, feel like Cooper Flag should work off the ball. And but to do that, then they're gonna have to get a true uh pass heavy point guard. And that's kind of hard to find in today's NBA, but they still out there and they still exist.
right.
So but it just depends on what Kyrie's position is as far as like, him coming back or his injury or healing from his injury. If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard where they said they was gonna, sit him out, let him fully heal.
Not a bad. I mean, not a bad. I mean, I've heard worse ideas.
Yeah,
You know,
because they can't trade him nowhere. They can't get no value for him. Not hurt.
no,
So
no, not hurt. Definitely not. Definitely not hurt. You know, it will. Like I said, you got a young, upcoming, upcoming star, and you know, I mean, it's just got to put some people around him.
mhm.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you
Yeah.
just got to put some people around. He needs some talent around him,
Yes.
and he's a young 19, 20 years old. Uh, so I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I think he's going to need some veterans or some high IQ basketball players around him. I don't think they can do what San Antonio and OKC did and just start with a young team,
Right.
but scout and draft well. I don't think that's how it's built in Dallas. So they're going to have to get some good quality veteran players around him, to help him grow into that position, or grow into the player that we all know that he's capable of becoming.
Like I said, he's definitely the way he's playing. The way he's playing, he is. should get rookie of the year. This is what is for the stats for the season. He's averaging 20.4 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 4.1 assists. Field goal percentage is 48%. I mean, got the numbers. The numbers are definitely there.
Good numbers. Good numbers.
Yeah. But like I said, you just want to get him definitely want to get him some help so to have a good shot. And I think Dallas will. Dallas is a good, I mean, I know they got a new owner, and I think they're in it for a long haul. And I also believe that they want to bring a championship to Dallas. Um, so I think they'll do the right things and try to build a team around them. And with San Antonio, bringing up San Antonio, how long has he been in the league? 3 years?
Wembanyama?
Yeah. I'm trying to
I think it's about 3 years now.
Yeah, so because remember they first came in, it wasn't very good. They played them, they taught them, did a lot of stuff. So they took 3 years to put all these pieces together, and that and now they're gelling like in the past. I mean, they look really good. They got a really good team. Could definitely win some championships with the team they have now. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it looks like they'll. I mean, be in it for a long haul. And then we're watching the Nuggets play. I watched them over the weekend. I mean, they play a real physical game.
Yeah.
Play a real physical game.
I watched that game too. It was very physical. Some people people have they did a different outlook on how Dort was called for the technical.
Yeah.
Now the first one when he stuck his leg out in front of Jokic and he kind of flipped out on him.
Yeah.
Oh, that was warranted.
Yeah.
Because you can obviously see him put his foot back. But I think they're gonna, I think they let them play a little bit, especially big guys. They let them play a little bit, but it seems like to me that they're cracking down more on the on those type of fouls and those type of moves, especially if you could cause injury to a player.
Yeah, that's kind of a big thing, causing injury. I mean, there's a lot of money being invested. You talk about somebody's health. It ain't just about the money, but I mean, people spent millions of dollars on people, and then a cheap shot eliminates someone's rest of their year or career ending. It definitely not needs to be handled very, very correct. I even watched the Lakers play the other night.
Before we get to this thing that we call the Lakers, I did look it up, and Wembanyama played 2 full seasons, and you were right, drafted in 2023, and he debuted October 25th of 2023. Yeah, so he's played 2 full seasons.
Yeah, this is his third.
This is his third. Yeah, so you was right.
3 years.
You was right.
Yeah, 3 years. They said, okay, this is a team that we're gonna play seriously. That we really have a shot at winning the West or even an NBA title. So yeah. I watched the Lakers, and I watched a lot of basketball this weekend, just trying to cover some overs, some unders, some lives. Did okay. Nothing. There's a couple of them I waited too long and spread change. You know how that is. You got to jump. That's why I say if you're going to do live overs and unders, you got to wait for that sweet point, and you got to know how much time is left. And I mean, I know it all sounds stupid, but I've seen people just make bets and be like, "Oh, that's it's 40. They need 40 points, and all they got left is 4 minutes and a quarter." Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah. It happens. That's why I said make sure, just make a message from. So just to make it clear. Just to, yeah, I know it sounds stupid, but make sure you're on the right game, the right quarter, the right inning, whatever. Just make sure because there's a lot of mistakes. And once you make the bet, it's pretty much over from that point.
Right.
But that being said, just kind of be careful of your. Like I said, there's so much. There's a lot more props that some people. Because I look at some of the parlays that people will send me like pictures of, and
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm like, holy cow! I mean, they're covering a lot. Points
Yeah.
under, over. I mean, it's just like, whoa, a lot of moving
It's
parts.
like, yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
and
stuff
like,
going on.
yeah. And then, like I always say, when people ask me about parlays, man, if you want to make a parlay and have a little fun with it, to me, it's like playing the lottery.
Yeah.
Um, Powerball. I mean, I'm not buying 100 tickets, but I
No.
might buy one or
Yeah,
two.
yeah. Yeah, one or two.
Yeah, if I got, if I'm just feeling something kind of crazy, and like I said, the parlay just makes it a little bit of fun. I know that that's not the professional gambler voice. It's just as a casual, a little bit more than a casual bettor and a casual sports fan. It just makes a lot of fun, especially if you get like two or three people in on it, and you make it like, hey, you pick three, I pick three, he picks three, and everybody looks at it, and you go, okay, and you do something like that, and everybody throws in $5, 15, it pays some stupid amount, but it just makes it fun. You know what I mean? Then you can
Yeah.
do your regular, do your regular serious bets off to the side by yourself. But yeah, that's all that I
Hmm.
got. Because people ask about the, I mean, I do see people at the book. That have stacks and stacks, and they're swinging. I mean, they're swinging. They're trying to. They're actually trying to. Like I'm going to make one ticket like this. I'm going to
Yeah.
make one ticket like
I think it
that,
like this. Yeah.
covering kind of and in
And
theory,
yeah.
it says, oh, you could break
Kind of.
even. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but one half a point. One, I mean, there's just so many variables. And you
One
got them at
rebound.
one
One
rebound.
rebound.
You got them at plus 20, and they hit night. Just so there's a lot of room for error on. That's why they make so much money. And the other thing that a lot of casinos make a lot of money off of is futures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, and people,
Yeah.
you bet the Super Bowl winner at the beginning of the season. All
Yeah.
right. So that gives you 5 months. You better keep up with that ticket. You better be able to find it.
Yeah.
Hope it didn't get destroyed. Hope it didn't get washed. And then
Hmm.
after you overcome all that, then maybe your team can win. And then
Yeah.
you could, yeah. That was I was listening to a story, and that's where it came from. And I was just like, holy cow, that's pretty, but it's very, very true. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's very, very paid. No reply. But it's very true. You got to keep up with it. But I'm not telling you not to make future bets. But now's the time. Like baseball's about to start. Um, People are going to be betting the over. How many the Rangers are going to win? 85. I knew someone that bet 4K on the Rangers last year to win. Was it 95 or not? They didn't hit it. They were out. They kind of
Yeah.
got a little hot. Yeah, um, like I said, so many games, so many injuries. That's a lot. I mean, there's so many things that could.
Yeah.
You could
That's a
bet the
pretty
Dodgers.
bold.
Yeah. I mean, you got to really be into the baseball. I mean, the
Yeah.
Dodgers are so favored to win the World Series because of all the talent that they have, but it's still not a shoe in. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
just,
Not a shoe
yeah,
in.
no, because
They
man,
still gotta go and they still gotta put the work in. They still gotta,
yeah, a lot of
improve.
games. There's a
Because a
lot of
lot of
games.
these teams are improving.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes. So there's
and
not a
this one
guarantee.
was a hard. This wasn't a cakewalk win either. So,
No, no. They gave them. They actually gave them everything. I mean, they actually gave them all the smoke. I was. It
hmm
was really. It was actually a very good World Series.
yeah,
Um, and I get my hats off to them. I mean, they were battling. They were definitely battling. It was a great World Series. So getting back to the futures, that's all. Just kind of
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those things. Like I said, Trey Young comes back Thursday. Washington March Madness starts. Actually, it starts on the 17th, 18th, but on the
Hmm?
15th is when they read off all the teams.
Yeah.
So
So get
I think
ready.
this, yeah, I think the 15th is a Sunday, and then the
Yeah.
first games. I'm trying to look at my
Yeah.
two,
Selection. What is it?
yeah,
Selection Saturday or something like that?
or
That's what it's
something
called.
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be off to the races, watching a lot of
Yeah.
basketball. All the sports books will be, usually they're pretty packed during
Mm-hmm.
March Madness, especially
Yeah.
as you get
And
in, because they'll be looking up.
yeah.
You'll be looking for, they'll be looking for matchups. Like, oh,
Yeah.
tonight is Duke and,
Duke in Michigan or Duke in
yeah,
Carolina or
yeah,
yeah. And for all you prop bettors, now is the time to start paying attention to college basketball highlights. Make sure
yeah,
to see who's the hot player, who's the number one guy on that team, who gets the more rebounds. Now it's time to do your pre-workout. You always got to do your homework, got to do your pre-workout. This is your pre-workout. Check the stats on all the teams, find out who the players are. So when the tournament gets here, it won't be so stressful. It'll make it a little easier because you know and you watch the team, you know what the team stats are, and you know their style of play. So it's
right,
homework. But if you want to win, you got to do your homework.
yeah. That is definitely no lie. Looking at what you got and really, um, watching from. I'm trying to look at all the what's going on.
Hmm.
Watching the games, getting the feel. I mean, Duke's hot right now. There's no doubt they're number
Yeah,
one, but they
yeah.
got a lot of competition.
Hmm.
So I mean, and then there's always the upset. There's always that upset that happens.
Yeah,
Uh,
that Cinderella team.
that
There's always that
Cinderella,
Cinderella team.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's always a Cinderella team. And all it takes is, you're one and done, like me and Lou always say. Uh and when it comes to March Madness, it's basically, you're one and done. You don't get another
One
shot.
and
And
done.
we've seen some big
Gotta leave it.
schools.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
we've
trying
seen
to
some big schools
man, I
fall
say man.
because they underestimated their opponent, thinking because they're in a bigger school, they got, better program, better stuff. You may have all that, but all that stuff matters nothing on that court. It's what you bring
Correct.
to the court that matters.
This is very true. I'll give you a couple other ones I got
Okay.
just some stats on. Now in hockey, these are the hottest teams right now that are covering the spread, not necessarily winning. Got the Canadians, the Leafs, the Bruins. Those are top four, and the Rangers.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people when you notice what hockey is when you go to bet it, everything is -1.5 or +1.5,
Hmm.
and that sometimes can be very tricky because 1.5 is basically two goals, but it's easy to beat somebody. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
if I was it's basically two goals when you're trying to beat it, but it's not really two goals because if you got one, if you're +1.5 and you score one, you're at 2.5. Their team
Hmm.
gets three, you still lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the
That's the beauty
the
of it.
drawback.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
hockey,
that's
yeah,
the
hockey,
beauty.
yeah. And then there's other ones I've been because I'm always looking at different stuff and reading and listening. Some
Hmm.
people are big into the first period, only bet in the first period, which is very interesting. Some teams get
Yeah.
some teams are hotter than others, or betting the over and under in the first period. Um,
Uh-huh.
I I was doing that a little bit at the end of the NFL season with
Hmm.
halves, and I did okay. I think I won like three in a row, and then and then I lost one, I won one, I lost one, I won one, lost two, just some stuff
Right.
like that, and I did okay with it. But that being said, you can do the same thing with hockey. You can do the same thing with basketball. The over under on basketball first quarter. You can stay within a guy. There's all kind of stuff you can do. But again, the longer the shot, the bigger the chances are that you don't win. So you got to kind of keep that. And we got horse racing is running all over the country. Oak Lawn and is on fire also. Trying to pull up that. Let me see. And when we got in a little trade talk, we got Washington cutting their running back. Not Washington, I'm sorry, Detroit cutting their running back.
Yeah, Detroit. They cut Ty Montgomery. And I think Houston, he said that Houston has interest. Am I correct on that?
Yes, that you are correct. And it's funny, 2 years ago, they were Montgomery and them, they were both 1-2 punch. You know what I mean? They had two, maybe it's money, maybe
that's what I'm thinking. They can't afford both. So they're just gonna keep Greer.
Yeah, and last year Greer had a great year. I mean, there's nothing,
he did.
So that's all. I mean, it wasn't, maybe you get a piece or two for him, get a couple draft choices or maybe a couple veterans, you never know. It's going to always be after New England's run in the NFL. I mean, I think it says it in stone. You have to plug and play constantly.
Got to plug and play
constantly. Yep. Yeah.
Got to plug and play, and they got to believe. They got to believe in the system.
Got to believe in the system, and they got to, and like you said, they got to fit into a certain mold. And then sometimes you got to let a couple of them go to pick up someone else. You got to be watching contracts, everything. Because everybody, if you get everyone on the team, eventually someone's going to want and need to get paid. So that's a thing in itself. And the drill was nice, so that's always good. All right, guys. I want to thank everyone for tuning in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Don't forget to look us up on Facebook, KM Radio, or the Sports Book. Reach out to Big Lou or me, or to E-Law. Like I said, if you have any events coming up and need anything announced, have any kind of community services that you do, nonprofits, reach out to us. We'll be happy to announce it on the air. And don't forget, every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, Tony G, Big Lou, KM Radio, the biggest radio station in the land, where we go ham.